Hello, first graders. How are you? We're going to talk about Osmo today, and for the next couple of weeks, we'll be working with Osmo and show you how to put it together and how the app works, and then you'll be ready for the activities in class when you get there, if you watch this video. Here we go with the iPads. You noticed in class, many of you noticed that my iPads had a different protector than yours do in the classroom, and the reason being is that we need a special attachment for Osmo to use. So this flap flaps down here just like this. You don't have to bend it any further than that. And a mirror pops over the top, which I'll show you in a second. We have our base that holds the iPad. And this is the mirror that comes out of the base. It is magnetized, so it shouldn't really fall out, but it is now for some reason. There we go. Put it in the right way. But that mirror just sits in there until we need to use it. Take it out, and now we're ready to go with the iPad. The mirror fits over the iPad, so we have the bottom activation screen at the bottom here, what we call the belly button of the iPad, right? So that fits down into the case, just like that. So it just sets in there. Doesn't have to be pushed in there or anything like that. It just sets in there. And then we have the mirror that just goes on this where this flap is, and you just push it on. And that's it. Your Osmo is all set up and ready to go. I have a little bit of glare on my screen, I can tell. And the Osmo is all set and ready to roll. We just have to find the app. So press the belly button here on the iPad, and hopefully this is a little bit easier to see. So let me push that belly button again. Oops, there's a scratch. Let's see here. Osmo Tangram is what we're using, that app right there. And what the Tangrams do is they will help you build visual and spatial abilities, use nonverbal reasoning, help with your fine motor skills, and some executive functioning skills as well. It'll help you with 3D spatial relational geometry as well, because these are all shapes we use mostly every day, except for maybe one shape I'll talk to you about. So that is it in a nutshell for the app. I'm probably going to move this back in closer so you can see it, but the shapes all come in a box like this. I have them out of the box right now. And each shape, I'm not sure that you'll be able to see this, but you can see each shape is outlined in that box. And then the two large triangles just go over the other shapes. As you take them out, you have the two large triangles with tangrams. You have two small triangles. You have a square. And you have a medium-sized triangle and a parallelogram. And the parallelogram is a shape that we probably don't use very much. So two equal sides on the top and bottom, and two equal sides there on an angle on each side that are shorter. All right, so basically what you're going to be using these shapes for is to make pictures. This red piece that fits over here has a mirror on it. I'll show you. It has a mirror on it, so that mirror will divert that camera to look at my table or the countertop. And that countertop I'll have all the shapes on it, and it'll help read what I'm making, and the iPad or the program will tell me if it's correct or not. So you'll see that in process here in a few seconds. So I'm going to reset my program on the Osmo just because I was using it earlier today. So I'll just go ahead and go through that with you. But anyway, we'll just tap the Osmo Tangram. We'll press play. We're not going to log in or anything like that. I am going to reset this.
Hello, welcome to Tangram. Choose a level to start your journey.
I'm actually going to turn that down as well. All right, so I am going to reset this so it starts from the beginning. There we go. Again, I'm not going to press play. We're not going to log in. There we go. You have 3 levels. We'll start out with easy. You'll move to medium pretty fast. on this. I think there's 13 activities on easy, and then you can move directly to medium, hard, and then harder once you unlock hard. All right, so here we go. And the first thing they want you to create is the swan, and you can see these shapes are all outlined. And once I put the shape on the table the correct way, it will the shape will go in solid actually, and it's actually showing me what two shapes to start with down below. So it's showing me how to start my shape. So I'll go ahead and do that. You might lose the visual on the screen here as I push the computer away. So I'm going to start with these two shapes. They want me to start with the green and the blue and slide them together the correct way. And once I do that, my two shapes will turn solid. And hopefully you saw that. I think you can see that on the screen. All right, so once they turn solid, if I spread them apart or put them in the wrong way, they just turn back to outline again. So once they turn solid, I have my shapes in the correct spot. I'm ready to move on to the next shape. I can choose whatever shape I want. And I'm going to choose that red triangle. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to put that on there. And if you wait long enough like I did, it'll give you hints. And then I'm going to do the next shape right here. It'd be the small teal triangle. And once I have in the right spot, it'll shade in dark. And then they want me to use the square. And the square is back behind my iPad. There you go. I don't know if you can hear the sound, but if you put it in the right spot, it makes the sound. I'm going to use next the parallelogram. There we go. And then the last piece will be the purple triangle. Flip that the correct way. There we go. And when you make it the correct way, it turns black and it swims off my screen for being a swan. All right, so now we're getting into the game part of it. So you're going to select easy to start off with, and then we'll just move to the more difficult letters as you progress. Start off with easy. I'm not sure that you can see that shape I'm making, or that, if you can tell what that picture is going to be, but you'll figure it out when I make it. So none of my swan doesn't fit the shape, so I'm going to sweep my swan off the area. I'll move it a little closer so you can see a little better. Two shapes it's asking me to get are the red triangle and the green triangle. So I'm going to try to slide those together the way they want me to, just like that. There we go. And I'm going to have to move this back again so you can see it a little bit better. Or so I can make it actually, not so you can see it better. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and do the purple triangle. I think that's what they... Nope, I'm sorry, the blue triangle. Do the blue triangle. And notice if I put the blue triangle here, I know you can't see it on my table. There you go. Maybe you can see it now. That it's not lighting up. So I notice I have to have it slid down about halfway, or a little over halfway on the red triangle. So I just have to move this back and slide that down. So once I slide it down far enough, it will show up, and there we go. Now I have it in the right spot. Then I'm going to do the red or the yellow square. There, I got that right on there right away. And I'm going to flip this to the correct spot. And now the orange parallelogram is in the right spot. And the pink triangle, I'll flip that, and that goes right there. And then my last shape would look like that.
Hey, you almost solved it.
And obviously, you probably said that was a horse.
Wow, I'm impressed.
All right, so I'll let you figure out the rest of the shapes, but I'll kind of go through this with you. So this shape here has, or these activities will build every time you create a shape. So I'm getting more and more activities built. So the yellow circles are the circles I have to solve the shapes for. So I would go maybe to this one next, or I could do one of these two, and you're going to go continue to make 7 to 8 more, do 7 to 8 more puzzles, and then there's a surprise in the castle, a task to do in the castle, and when you're finished with the castle, you get to move on to the harder level. So that's tangrams, and we're going to be working with that in class. Should be a good time, and we'll see you in a few weeks.